face of looming American tariffs, politicians are asking Canadians to shop at home.
Send the message, buy Canadian products.
When you're at the grocery store and you have a chance to buy a product right now, you're looking carefully at the labels to support Canadian jobs and to support Canada at this critical time.
So that when you go to the store, that Canadian pride leads you to buy that made in Canada product.
Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years.
Makes sense when your neighbor is threatening to cripple your economy.
The tariff threat has caused a buy Canadian sentiment that appears to be gaining momentum.
It's even kind of fun, but buying Canadian is easy to say, not so easy to do.
The reality is, there's lots of goods Canada doesn't produce and food we can't grow, especially in winter. In order to buy Canadian, shoppers need to do research, make substitutions, and be prepared to pay more.
But it can be done, says marketing professor Surbona Dasgupta.
Okay, we're shopping on Robson Street. How do I know what's Canadian?
Up here we have Arsenault, which is Canadian.
Yeah.
The first challenge, understanding the label.
Even if you find something that says made in Canada, there's no guarantee that the things that it's made with, the materials or the ingredients, are from Canada.
Anything that says product of Canada is 98% Canadian. Made in Canada means 51% Canadian content. Then there's the big iconic brands.
We have a lot of Canadian brands like, Aritzia, Lululemon, Roots, but, it's important to keep in mind that they outsource a lot of their materials from other countries, even assemble them elsewhere. So you're still buying Canadian, and I think that's a good thing to support them because they have a Canadian footprint, but that's something to keep in mind.
It's all a bit confusing, but Dylan Lobo wants to help. He runs a website, madeinca.ca, to help shoppers find Canadian goods. It started back in 2018 when Donald Trump put tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum.
We essentially created a list, and it really caught on fire.
What has the interest in the website been in the last couple of weeks since this buildup of Trump tariffs has been?
Huge. I would say we received submissions that would have taken probably a year, that amount of submissions, in like the last 2 weeks. That's hundreds of submissions.
So I asked our experts, where's the easiest place to buy Canadian? They said, start with the grocery store.
Canada shines when it comes to agriculture. You can compare the Okanagan apples to the Washington apples and make a choice to buy that, and it's pretty clear that they come from the Okanagan.
I'd say the easiest Canadian goods is to support dairy. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but the maple syrup industry is a huge one in Canada. It's probably the only one where it's so easy to get maple syrup for us, Yeah, those are the easiest ones.
But here's where you might have to make some choices. There are no orange groves in Canada.
If you drink orange juice in the morning and oranges, well, we don't grow oranges, maybe you change to apple juice or something else and support local businesses. And so making these small changes that become a habit with us means that we become self-reliant and more sustainable in the long run.
Another place where it's possible to buy Canadian? Clothing.
I personally, even the suit I'm wearing is from a local store, right? It's from a local tailor shop, in Etobicoke. So, I personally, I'm starting to support more on a local business level.
But here's the harsh reality. You're gonna have to shell out more cash for that Canadian suit from a local shop. It's true with many Canadian goods. Producing at home costs more.
Our labor laws, our regulations, everything makes it more costly. However, it's important to keep in mind that often the quality is also better. You pay extra, but you're also supporting Canadian business, you're supporting the workforce.
But we are in a cost of living crisis.
I know. My advice there is to say that you cannot be perfect in what you do, right? If you set yourself the goal of, I have to buy Canadian, then you're going to lose your mind because things are so expensive.
And some things you simply can't get. Electronics are out. Same thing with vehicles.
You can't buy a made in Canada car that's just made in Canada.
Yeah, no, it can't just be made in Canada. What happens is a portion is made in Canada, a portion is made somewhere in Mexico, a portion is made somewhere else.
Even with those limitations, Professor Dasgupta says shifting consumption patterns could be a good thing.
It is important to be sustainable, to be self-reliant, and if we do that bit by bit, right? And it becomes a habit with us to buy Canadian, then we become more self-reliant.
Lobo says governments should make it easier for businesses to produce and sell goods here.
You know, you can't just go on the news and just tell everybody, you know, start doing this now. It doesn't work like that. I don't think so. You need to kind of build it up, right, over several years.
He sees this weird and scary moment as an opportunity. Changing how we shop could inspire a new generation of businesses made in Canada for Canadians.